Liverpool Reaction, an American LFC podcast, starts now.
Hey everyone, going solo tonight with Salim not available. Just a few thoughts on the Aston Villa game. Liverpool won a game. So after losing 6 of the last 7, is this a start for something new for Liverpool and Arne Slot? I think Real Madrid and Manchester City may have something to say about it later this week. But anyway, going into the game and listening to Radio Merseyside this week, one comment that caught my eye, well, my ears actually, literally, was a fan talking about Arne Slot post the Crystal Palace debacle. And the comment was, it feels a bit like Brendan Rodgers. And maybe I'll come back to that comment a bit later on. But anyway, one thing that's happened in recent Liverpool games has been conceding early goals. And it very nearly happened today when Morgan Rodgers struck the post. But I guess it was Liverpool's day because they escaped that time. And it was a very, very good first half with actually teams that resemble each other in Aston Villa and Liverpool. And I guess the record reflects that because they came in both with 15 points apiece. And Liverpool won their first 5 games. Villa did not, and then it flipped. And that's why we arrived on equal footing coming into the game today. So anyway, it was a pretty open game. Both teams like to fiddle about at the back with the ball, and Aston Villa do it even more. Unai Emery is a very good manager, very good coach, but for whatever reason, he's not going to follow the recent formula of bypass the Liverpool press, go direct, take advantage of every set piece, and cause Liverpool problems. And as I say, it was end-to-end. It was end-to-end. There were chances at both ends of the field. And Liverpool thought they'd gone ahead when they actually put a good move together and a great header from Ekitike. But sadly, from a Liverpool perspective, the Frenchman was just offside. So it looked like it was going to be disappointment heading into half-time. Enter Emi Martinez and a very casual pass to the fullback, except it wasn't the fullback, it was Mo Salah. And actually, Salah, I've been critical of him of late. I thought he showed up a lot better today. And he took the chance. And it wasn't quite as easy as you might think. I mean, it was certainly a present. But when you see it from his perspective, it wasn't a clear route to goal because there was an Aston Villa defender there. But he kept his head, which he hasn't done a lot of recently. And he finished convincingly. So 1-0 to Liverpool going into the second half. And I guess the game was very, very similar after the half-time break. And chances again at both ends before Liverpool finally did get a second goal. Little bit of fortune perhaps, but again, Villa kind of very, very sloppy at the back. And Gravenberch's shot was deflected past Martinez. So 2-0. Villa finally decided to put the pressure on late, and we had all those ridiculous situations for corner kicks. I mean, it's a common issue game to game in the Premier League where there's all the wrestling matches going on, and not easy for the referee to differentiate who's doing what to who. So I don't know how this situation is solved overall. But anyway, Liverpool held out. They got a clean sheet. And I think the first comment I'd have to make about that was letting the fullbacks play for the duration of the game was a big plus. Having Andy Robertson at left back was a big plus. Were he and Bradley perfect? No. But they were solid, they were dependable, and they also offered something going forward. And that is good for Liverpool. So when they come up against Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. and all these kind of guys on Wednesday, could they make mistakes? Yes, they could. But that's the game anyway. Nobody's going to be perfect. And I think the thing is that Liverpool looked a lot more solid centrally with those two guys playing the 90 at fullback. Having said that, Liverpool do have an issue, I feel, which is if Arne Slot's going to persist with 4-2-3-1 formation, he doesn't really have somebody that wants to be the defensive midfielder, the number 6. And Gravenberch played it to perfection pretty much last year, but now it appears he's got it in his head that he wants to be playing further up the field. And that's fine. But there was one clear instance in the second half where he was forward. Liverpool lost the ball and then Villa broke, and wasn't Villa's day, but against Real Madrid and Manchester City, they are more liable to take advantage of those situations, because it's been clear through a lot of the games this season, in front of the Liverpool central defenders, there's a great big hole, and good teams are going to take advantage of it. Villa didn't do it tonight, but maybe on another day they might. So that's something that the manager has to figure out. As I said earlier, Salah has come in for criticism, and I've certainly given him my share. He did much better today, so well done, Mo. However, having said that, I do think he has to be managed in terms of his time. And Liverpool certainly have enough guns and ammunition that they can substitute players in for him. Chiesa's been excellent coming in off the bench, for example. And if Isak can get himself fit, then again, that presents another opportunity for rotation up front. So the bad run hopefully has ended, but two strong opponents this week. Real Madrid are top of La Liga. Manchester City, it'll be interesting to see how they do tomorrow against Bournemouth, because Bournemouth are no mugs. But my gut feeling is that they will prevail. So these are two tough matches, and the second one is at the Etihad. So let's see how the Reds kind of bounce back. Now, coming back to that earlier comment about Arne sounding like Brendan Rodgers, I think there's a couple of things that are crystal clear, having heard what he said. The first one is Liverpool do not have an injury crisis. Liverpool do have some injuries. Isak, and I kind of thought this before they signed him for a lot of money, he is injury prone and he's out right now. Frimpong is obviously out for a few weeks as well, as is, well, I don't know how long Jones is out for, but Liverpool does not have an injury crisis. And so the kind of suggestion was made that maybe Liverpool didn't have a squad to deal with these injuries. And it was kind of interesting. One thing that I noted today was on the substitutes bench, Liverpool had two goalkeepers. And I'd be kind of interested to know, well, why? Because they had plenty of other players. I mean, like they played enough lads on Wednesday against Palace. So I'd have thought somebody like a Calvin Ramsey, who I thought actually showed up quite well in a bad Liverpool performance, I thought he'd be worth a place on the bench, give him some encouragement. Also, he's a right back. So, hey, I mean, I thought that was strange. So there's no injury crisis at Liverpool. I think to some degree, some will say that the fact that he kind of played a weaker squad, and actually a very much weaker squad looking at the bench in the Carabao Cup, that the manager's call is justified. Well, I think we'll find out this time next week after Real Madrid and Manchester City are in the rear-view mirror and we go into the third international break of the fall. But anyway, 2-0 Liverpool. Good to get a win. Good to get a win against a good team that was neck and neck with Liverpool in the table. And let's see if that can be carried on into the games this week. So I would love to hear whether Liverpool fans out there watching, whether they agree with my comments. Am I out of order, kind of agreeing with the fan that says Arne sounded a bit like Brendan? Maybe, maybe not. I'd love to hear your opinions. Have they turned the corner? How will they do against Madrid? How will they do on the road at Manchester City? These are big games, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. So please subscribe, and let's get together after the Real Madrid game, which I believe is on Tuesday night. Until then, you'll never walk alone.
Coach and I want to take a second to thank everybody for watching on YouTube or whether you're listening via podcast. Please subscribe or follow the show wherever you consume your content. We are looking forward to continuing to bring you the best Liverpool content out there. We'll see you next time.